Well, hello and welcome to another Daily Dominion. I'm back at my back in Munich, and I can finally record from my usual setup. And yeah, apologies for not recording yesterday, but it really wouldn't have fit in as I went to a party right after coming back and was home at like 2 or so. Yeah, really no possibility. But let's dive into this kingdom. As always, I will start by explaining the cards and landscapes first, and then we can see what we can get to. We have the Augurs. This pile starts the game with 4 copies each of Herb Gatherer, Acolyte, Sorceress, and Sibyl in that order. Only the top card can be gained or bought. And these cards say that the Herb Gatherer says +1 buy, put your deck into your discard pile, look through it, and you may play a treasure from it. You may rotate the augurs, and rotating means that you put all of the copies of the topmost card into the back and then thus have access to the new topmost card. And those other topmost cards could be Acolyte. You may trash an action or victory card from your hand to gain a gold, or you may trash this to gain an augur, another one. Sorceress says +1 action, name a card, reveal the top card of your deck and put it into your hand. If it's the named card, each other player gains a curse. So, yeah, cursor, not super strong here with Footpad around, I'll get to that. Sibyl says +4 cards, +1 action, put a card from your hand on top of your deck and another on the bottom. So it can set up Sorceress, but it's hard to get there. And since there's no real village here, we probably will not go for them. Remake, on the other hand, is a card we will certainly go for. Do this twice, trash a card from your hand, then gain a card costing exactly 1 more than it. And Remake really synergizes with Footpad here, as Footpad has a below-the-line text saying, in games using this, when you gain a card in an action phase, +1 card. So by remaking estates into silvers, you'll draw cards. And Footpad itself gives you +2 coffers. Each other player discards down to 3 cards in hand. And yeah, it's a militia variant. The coffers can be nice to smooth things out, but yeah, I don't know. Tiara. +1 buy. This turn, when you gain a card, you may put it onto your deck. You may play a treasure from your hand twice. Simple treasure throne room. The top decking is nice. It's usually quite pleasant and strong. Charlatan, on the other hand, also has an interaction with Footpad where it makes Charlatan worse, as whenever you give out curses with Charlatan after playing it, because you're in an action phase, your opponent will draw cards to Footpad. In games using this, curses are also treasures worth 1, so we can play them and get 1 coin. Falconer is not going to be relevant here. It lets you gain a card to your hand costing less than it. And it's not relevant here just because the main thing you would want to get is tiaras or remakes or maybe silvers. But there is no village here, and except for exploration to some extent. So it really falls off against the other terminals. Footpad I already explained. Highwayman is an attack card that says at the start of your next turn, discard this from play and +3 cards. So smithy that you can redraw, a duration smithy that you can redraw. Until then, the first treasure each other player plays each turn does nothing. So you kind of diminish the treasure payload output from your opponents. If they have coppers, it is usually not super consequential. But yeah, I don't know. Laboratory. +2 cards, +1 action. I think it's very relevant here, being non-terminal draw. Mining Road, +1 action, +1 buy, +2 coins. Once this turn, when you gain a treasure, you may play it. And finally, we have Scholar, discard your hand, +7 cards. Also not super useful here as it's terminal. We then have Exploration, which is a 4-cost project, saying at the end of your buy phase, if you didn't gain any cards during it, and the emphasis on gaining, it used to be buying, but now it's gaining, +1 coffers and +1 villager. And this is really nice to open with usually, because immediately when you open with it, you get the coffers and the villager. But yeah, I don't know. It's still also nice with Remake. If you have hands where you don't really do anything, you still get something out of them. And finally, we have Prosper, costing 10, gain a loot, plus any number of differently named treasures. Like you can gain a loot, tiara, and gold. And the loots are, well, usually 7-cost cards, or all 7-cost cards that give you +3 coins, except for Spell Scroll and Endless Chalice. And they usually give you +1 buy, like a third of them does not give you +1 buy, but other bonuses that are pretty nice. I'm not going to go through all of them one by one. Staff might be really important if you can pull it. Sextant is nice to set up your next turn, but yeah, I don't know. So let's analyze the kingdom. The kingdom plot looks like this. There is a tiny spark of village in exploration, as it allows you to accumulate villagers. There is a lot of draw in laboratory, highwayman, scholar, technically, but yeah. So the question here is, how do you build? I think you want to go for Remake for sure. It's super strong with Footpad. You want exploration to rack up a few villagers, I think. Um, Later in the game, you might want to put in a highwayman as well. You really want to get as many laboratories as you can, and then yeah, province rather early. Also, a notable thing about Prosper is that the loots, since they cost 7, you can turn them into provinces in the late game really easily, and that's usually quite strong. All right, opening wise, we have a few different variants of openings that you could go for here, but in any of them, I think you want to go for Remake for sure. On the 4-3, I think the 4-3 is by far the best opening here. You get to open Exploration and use the coffers you get on turn 1 to buy Remake on turn 2. And then you already have Exploration, you only have an 11-card deck. It's great. And for the 3-4, I think Silver Remake is fine. On the 5-2, Remake nothing might be even a tad worse than just plain old, than just Silver Remake, but yeah, they're both much worse than just Exploration Remake. We, however, have 3-4, so we will go for Silver Remake. Herb Gatherer really doesn't make that much sense due to the terminal question. And yeah, we'll see what we go for. I don't think I would ever go for Charlatan as it. So let's put in a few more. But do we want to trash this copper and just say, okay, we hit 5 next turn and be okay with that? Or do we go for the chance to draw the silver to pick up exploration? Oh, it's 1 in 6 chance. I don't think we should go for it. But turning the estate into silver seems quite nice. Yeah. Sorry, I was about to say, yeah, here it would have been great if we already had exploration, because I don't think we want to stuff more silver into our deck. Let's go for laboratory. We do find the remake, but we do, yeah. That's exactly the reason why I wouldn't recommend going for Charlatan, as the curse will draw your opponent's cards, accelerating your early game. And yeah, let's pick up a few remakes actually. Or maybe just one, and say the laboratory. We really should go for exploration soon. Do we go for exploration here? I think so. Next turn we'll be able to draw back. Could also be another laboratory. Mm, yeah, AI is completely lacking remake now. So maybe this wants to be a an exploration. So here we can just get rid of a few. We could put in another remake. Let me actually reverse this. We could put in another remake and remake this remake into a laboratory. I think I like that. So, or we could just play the other remake afterwards. Yeah, let's draw here, and yeah, I think that's the best way to go. We triggered a shuffle with a laboratory in it and a remake, and this way we'll get to come back to these other cards, especially if AI is so nice to get us to draw us a card again. And here we could think about turning this remake into a laboratory. I think we don't want to play it right now. Do we want to play this one though? How much money is this? I'm too lethargic to count. This is 5 money. If we were to play the remake, we would only have. Hmm. Yeah, let's play the remake actually. Maybe turn the silver into a tiara then, and skip our buy phase, just so we can accumulate um, one more of those coffers and one more of those villager tokens. And our buys, wait for the AI does. Is drawing. But we are also drawing, and yeah, our deck is looking quite good at this point. So here we can just remake the remake, I think, into another laboratory or into a Highwayman. The problem about Highwayman is that we would not really have the terminal space. So yeah, I think it's just a laboratory. Could also be a mining road. Like we will hit 4, 7. No, we will hit 10 anyways, even without the mining road. So I think we just want to put in a laboratory. And yeah, buy Prosper. Could also be double lab, but then I think we do want to accelerate our payload. Spell scroll is not the nicest loot to get. Spell scroll, well, let me show you actually, is a loot that on play you trash this to gain a cheaper card. If it's an action or a treasure, you may play it. It will allow us to play it to get a laboratory next turn, and that should be fine. But really, what we want is loot that does more for us. I don't think we should gain a silver here, but we will be able to hit Prosper again next turn. And we should pick up the last 2 laboratories here. Yeah. And it also anti-synergizes with, I didn't even think about this, with Highwayman, as you cannot really play it during your action phase, as its effect will just be nullified. You get to keep it in your deck, but it's really bad. You need to wait for the treasure phase to actually play it. That's a bit annoying, actually. So, what do we do here? I think we still just trash 2 coppers. This last card is Laboratory. And our actions, now play this copper. Play this to... Maybe we could put a Highwayman into play ourselves. I'm just realizing we won't be able to pick up both of the laboratories, very likely, right? Except if we skip our Prosper phase. Also turn it into a mining road, so this is 10. Not very confident about this. Yeah, what should it be? Could also just be a gold. which he could play, and then in that case we had 13, but the main thing we want to get here is 2 laboratories and something. So maybe this is the wrong decision. Let's put in a but the highwayman we also don't really need at this point. Let's put it in a mining road. I think that's okay. Next turn we will get to draw. We are slowed down a bit, but it's fine, right? Yeah, we won the lap split 6-4. AI does get prosper as well, but it's also out of villagers, so it cannot really play both its highwayman and the charlatan. And we do get an amazing loot staff. Okay, we get to play it, and and now it's of course unfortunate that you gain the loot first, because had we gained the gold and Tiara, no, we wouldn't have been able to play it. What am I talking about? But uh, yeah, I guess we can play the laboratory. We could top deck some of this, but we don't want to. And now here, because we have the staff, I think we want to put in a highwayman now for sure. Yeah, I think that the spell scroll was really underwhelming, unfortunately. Mm, not the greatest loot. Let's discard the remake. We'll probably get back to it. AI goes for province. We draw most of our deck except for the remake. That's okay. I think I want a little bit more prosper stuff going on. Um, what do we want to do about this? We could play the remake even. Um, just play it probably. Get a gold as well, and no more Tiara. And here just go for one more prosper and one more highwayman. I think that's good. And then next turn start provincing, and those loots, okay, this would have been nice to be able to put into play, or maybe it will be nice next turn to just remake it. But those loots will be good targets for our remake to turn into something, yeah, something nice. And actually thinking about it, since we only have one villager and we will want to play our remake next turn, we might not want to get the second highwayman. Yeah, we draw. Let me actually count how many cards. Well, it's a bit boring probably for you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 17 cards plus 3 is 20 cards. And we draw 5, then the laboratories draw 6. So we will not draw deck for sure next turn. Um, I know the laboratories actually, if we no, they will draw 12 cards. So what is? Yeah, sorry. We'll exactly draw deck next turn unless the laboratories bottom deck, and I think I'm happy with that. Maybe we could put in one more mining road, but really I don't think there's that much merit to it. Yeah, let's just skip our buy phase here and start double provincing next turn. Yeah, I think that's good, or double or triple provincing. We will even draw a card from this. AI has 2 provinces in deck right now. And yeah. I forgot about the staff. I'm really stupid. And I forgot about Tiara being able to double play. Yeah, last turn we should have for sure gotten a highwayman. Man. Yeah, really stupid, as I said. But we do hit some numbers. We do hit double province. Probably one more prosper, which will be another province next turn. I'm not playing the Endless Chalice as it's not doing that much for us, but we can remake it next turn. And we can play the Mining Road, play the Spell Scroll, just to put another Highwayman into play. That's amazing. That also means that we do get to load up a bit more on gold and Tiara. And now next turn, yeah, we really should be golden here to quad province. Like two of them coming from the loots. What do we want to discard here? I think it's a gold. Tiara is great. Mm. And yeah, I think AI's biggest mistake is skipping remake. I'm not sure why it did that. And we get to turn this into a province, turn this into a province, use the villager to play the last laboratories. Oh, I almost clicked end buys. It's very like this is so deceptive because you're so used to see the play treasures button there, and then you click end buys and you completely miss that there. Uh, yeah, it has happened to me because it's so confusing with the Highwayman to alter your UI. Um, it was a close call actually, but we prevailed. We bottom decked. We exactly bottom decked the two Highwaymen, which enabled us for this grand last turn. But yes, I think this one could have gone a turn faster had we not gotten the spell scroll for the first loot, maybe. But also, yeah, no, there was this decision. Even if it had been a gold, hmm, if it had been a gold, we might have been able to double play it with Tiara and hit Prosper and Laboratory. Yeah, but I liked the mining road in that situation. It wasn't the greatest. I liked how we put the Highwayman into play, and I also liked, of course, AI opening Charlatan. Charlatan is really bad here as it accelerates your opponent's early game. You yourself skip out on remake, and yeah, I don't know. The focus should be remake laboratory early, then hitting prosper as soon as possible, get an exploration in, and then go for the provinces. Yeah, the decks are here, and with that, I don't know whether I'll get to re-record the past dailies, maybe someday, but probably not today, as I'm also quite busy again. So I will try to catch you next time, and until then, goodbye.